Hello and welcome to the video, and I'm sure we will all agree Archie Gray is a star. There is absolutely no point in denying it, and he is the definition of a wonderkid. He literally just turned 18, and in my opinion, he's the best right back in the league, and it's not even his best position. But now, today's news has seen him internationally recognised all around the world with what I think is a fairly big award/nomination thing. But first, I've got a bone to pick with some of you. Big bone. 74% of you aren't subscribed. It's one click. Just go for it. Be massively appreciated. Anyway, diving into it, Archie has a brand new achievement that has somehow put him massively on the world sort of scale in a way that he wasn't before. He's 43rd placed in the Next Gen list. I'll go with Next Gen. You might not know what that is. It's a thing that is commonly seen in like Football Manager, for example, but it is an actual thing where I thought it was just a fictional thing. It is a compilation of the 50 best Wonder Kids under the age of 19 years old. Basically, if you were born after the 1st of January 2005, you can be on this year's list. It's an annual thing, it updates over time, and generally it's been a fairly good predictor of who's become a really big footballer. However, we need to keep in mind that it's still subjective. People pay a lot of attention to it, but there are little biases in there from time to time. So, for example, Mark Guiu with 74 minutes at Barcelona is 37th on the list. 6 places above Archie Gray, who has been dominating the championship from right back when he's not even a right back. So it's one of those things where if you're at a big club, you'll likely go a little bit higher, but it can still have a very big meaning. It can still have a meaning not only to the player himself, who might get a lot of confidence out of it, to fans, us, the club, who can then say, look at our fantastic player, we love him, he's great, but also to other clubs. Other clubs such as a Liverpool, a Manchester City, a Manchester United, a Newcastle. So that's where the big worry comes in. This is a good thing, without a doubt. However, it means that Archie Gray will attract a lot of interest in the coming months, years for certain, but probably this summer as well in some cases. There has already been interest from Anfield, Old Trafford, Manchester City, and the club will be very unlikely to sell for a low price. And that makes complete sense because we're not going to give away what is one of our prize assets, one of our best players, and someone that is so sort of culturally connected to the club in a way that very few players are nowadays. However, non-promotion is still a risk. It's not the worst risk because we recently signed Archie Gray a new contract, but us not going up would mean that we need a fair bit of money because of PSR, profit and sustainability rules or regulations, one of the two, that mean that we need to not lose a significant amount of money season on season. That's why I imagine the 49ers did a lot of loan business this season rather than buying, because apparently we are right on the fringe of PSR issues. We can't spend that much right now. But even without the transfer thing, there's a conversation to be had around fitness, around development, around what's going to happen with the player going forwards and how he's played. So these are the two most important things for a youngster. Decent levels of fitness, decent development to get him into the right position to maximize his talent while still being fit and healthy. And we need to consider the fact that Archie Gray has played a lot this season. I didn't check the specific stats. I did for Mark Guiu, but I didn't for Archie Gray. Jesus. Mark Guiu, with his 74 minutes, is being compared to Archie Gray with his 2,948 minutes of championship football this season, and that isn't counting FA Cup, stuff like that. So Gray has played over 3,000 minutes this season, which is a good thing, because minutes are clearly great for his development. However, we desperately need to make sure he doesn't get Sam Byram'd or Lewis Cooked into a situation where he's played so much football in his youth that his bones and muscles and tendons and all that stuff just can't handle the strain. I'd love to get into that was a fun hiccup. The science of it, I'll be straight with you, I do not understand the science of it. When it came to the sciences, biology isn't the one. Physics, banger. Chemistry, biology, go away. Be gone. Oof, bye. Anyway, those minutes are very clearly good for his development, though, because we've seen in front of our very eyes that he's gotten significantly better as the season's gone on. We started the season a little bit unsure of him at right back, hoping that he'd be in midfield if we desperately needed him, and we weren't even sure that we wanted him to play, and then he did play, and then he kept playing, and then he became basically undroppable ahead of Luke Ayling, who was Bielsa's #1. And he kept Jed Spence out of that position, and he's currently keeping Connor Roberts out of that position. And that development is really working for him, and it's expanding his skill set beyond what you'd imagine for a midfielder as well, because he is still a midfielder. He might not have been playing there much this season, but that's still what he is. And having the skill set of being able to carry the ball like he does up the wing means that he'll be an even more versatile midfielder in the future. So, all that considered, considering his development, this new award thing, what does it mean for his future? Because that's the important thing. When you're talking about a footballing wonderkid or your club's new star player, you're not just caring about what they're doing right now, you're caring about what they'll do in 2, 5, if you're lucky, 10 years. But with Gray, I think it's really, really hard to say. And there's a lot that depends on a lot of other things. For example, if we stay down for more than a year, he's very, very hard to keep. Premier League sides will come in, and we've got the PSR issues. So whilst our rolling calculation currently has 2 or 3 years of Premier League money in it, that isn't the case if we don't get promoted. Which is a very significant issue, because that leaves a £100 million hole in the finances, and that's especially true when the parachute payments stop. So those are big issues that need to be solved, and you solve those issues by selling players, which potentially Archie Gray, I think, has the highest ceiling of any of the players at Leeds United. We do have a young squad. We have a squad with a lot of value in it. But if we stay down, we can't use that value to the maximum, because other clubs know that we quite desperately need cash. If we do go up, I think he ideally stays at Leeds United. And we know that he clearly has an international future too, because Gareth Southgate's been having conversations about him, which, obviously, fantastic. He's already in the England under-21 side. Southgate's obviously paying a little bit of attention. Apparently, England have a little bit of an issue at right-back right now, because Reece James, injured. Trent, injured. Not entirely sure about Kieran Trippier. Might be on another betting ban. Kyle Walker, ageing. So Archie Gray doesn't even need to get into the England setup. I'm very tired. He doesn't even need to get into the England setup as a midfielder. He can do it as a right-back. There are so many ways in for him, and honestly, sod it. He wins as the 2030 World Cup. I'm going that level of optimism. Why not? But I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And before you go, one little thing to tell you about. Keep an eye on tomorrow. I'm doing a quizzy, showy thing with Mr. Joe Wayman of Just Joe Football Show. If you're not subscribed to him, go over there, do that. But that should be pretty fun. Hopefully you can come along. That would be massively appreciated. Having as much of an audience and getting as much involvement as possible would be really nice. But hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you later.